There's a silence that holds more power than any shout ever could. A silence that commands a room not by force, but by presence. Most people mistake loudness for strength. They think dominance comes from raising your voice, proving your point, winning the noise. But the why's no different. True authority comes from stillness, from the person who doesn't need to interrupt because they've mastered the space within. And when you master that space, no one dares interrupt you. Today you'll learn the 3 words that hold that kind of power. Not magic, not manipulation, truth. 3 words that make you untouchable in conversations, in chaos, in life. But before those words are revealed, you need to understand something deeper, because words alone mean nothing unless your soul knows how to carry them. Look around you. Everywhere, people talk over each other. Arguments echo in cafes, comment sections, boardrooms. No one listens, they just wait to speak. You can feel it, can't you? That frantic energy, that desperate need to be heard. Everyone's shouting, but no one's being understood. You don't rise above that by shouting louder. You rise by slowing down. By standing so still, their noise fades into background static. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." That's the essence of this entire journey. Stop proving, start being. Because when you are something deeply enough, people feel it. You don't have to say, "Listen to me." They just do. So let's begin where all true strength begins, with presence. There's a moment before every interruption when energy shifts. Someone leans forward, opens their mouth ready to cut in, and you can sense it. If your mind is scattered, you tense up, talk faster, stumble. But if your mind is calm, if you're centered, they hesitate. Something in them recognizes it. This person doesn't fight for space. They own it. That's what the Stoics mastered centuries ago. They walked through empires collapsing and never raised their voices. Not because they were weak, but because they'd already won the battle inside. They knew control isn't about controlling others. It's about mastering your own response. People can yell, judge, insult. But if your inner state remains steady, you've already conquered the only battlefield that matters. So, when someone interrupts you, remember, what's really being tested isn't your argument. It's your composure. The moment you react, you've given them your power. But if you breathe, pause, and let silence answer first, you remind the world that you're unshaken. That's where the first of the 3 words lives. We're not there yet, but you're close. Before you can speak the words that command silence, you must learn to listen to silence itself. Close your eyes. Imagine you're in a conversation. Voices rise. Opinions collide. Tension builds. Someone interrupts you again. In the past, you'd jump to defend yourself. You'd explain, justify, rush to prove, but not this time. This time, you breathe. You let their words pass through you like wind through open hands. And when they finally stop, something strange happens. Everyone turns to you, waiting. Not because you fought for attention, but because you didn't. That's power, not the power that shouts, the power that waits. People interrupt those who look desperate to speak. They don't interrupt those who carry calm certainty. When your energy says, "I don't need to compete," the room bends to your pace. So the first lesson isn't about speaking at all. It's about unlearning the reflex to defend. You owe no one an explanation for your peace. Your calm doesn't need permission. Once you grasp that, your entire presence shifts. People stop interrupting, not because you scare them, but because they sense you can't be shaken. Let's go deeper. Why do we crave being heard so badly? Because deep down, we mistake being acknowledged for being worthy. We want validation that we exist, that we matter, that our words mean something. So when someone cuts us off, it feels personal, like they're erasing us. But the Stoic sees it differently. An interruption doesn't take your worth, it just tests your awareness. The world will keep trying to pull you into noise, but silence is the language of mastery. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." And the bravest act in a world addicted to reaction is to stay calm when provoked. When others rush to defend, you wait. When they raise their tone, you lower yours. When they seek to dominate, you simply remain. That's when your words, few as they are, begin to carry weight. You've met people like that, haven't you? The kind who don't talk much, but when they do, everyone listens. That's not charisma, it's self-command. They've killed the need to win every exchange. And what dies with that need? Ego. The ego is what makes you interrupt others, and it's what makes their interruptions sting. When you see through the ego, you understand the simplest truth of all. Nothing spoken can diminish what's real. So why hurry? Why compete? Why break your peace trying to prove you're right? You can feel it even now, as you listen. The relief that comes with letting go of the need to respond. That's the space the first word will live in. We're almost there. Before those 3 words can mean anything, you have to clear the noise. Every habit that keeps you reactive must fall away. The Stoics trained themselves daily, not with swords, but with stillness. They practiced in their minds what others practiced in war: discipline of thought, economy of speech, restraint of emotion. They knew silence wasn't emptiness, it was strength under control. Epictetus said, "If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation." He meant that no one can interrupt your peace unless you let them, and that's the essence of what we're learning here. When someone interrupts your words, they can only succeed if they also interrupt your focus. Protect that, and you become uninterruptible. You might still pause when they speak over you, but inside, you never left center. You're still there, calm, patient, observing, waiting for the storm to pass. That's where the first of the 3 words finally reveals itself. Word 1. I am unmoved. Say it softly to yourself. Feel it. I am unmoved. Not indifferent. Not cold. Just untouchable. The first word isn't a shield, it's a mirror. It reflects your mastery back at the chaos around you. When you say I am unmoved, you're reminding your mind that you can observe without reacting, hear without absorbing, exist without collapsing into every passing emotion. That's what makes people stop interrupting you. They sense your stillness, and it unnerves them in the best way. Your calm becomes contagious. Their words lose speed in your presence. They start matching your rhythm. That's what true presence does. It sets the tone for the room. But the journey doesn't end there. Because calm alone isn't enough. There's a second word waiting, truth even deeper than stillness. Calm is power. But power without purpose fades like smoke in the wind. Stillness alone can hold the storm back. But if you don't know why you're still, the silence becomes a prison. The Stoics never sought calm just to appear composed. They sought calm to see clearly. Because when emotion settles, truth rises to the surface, and truth once seen cannot be unseen. That's where the second word begins, in the moment after calm. When clarity takes the stage, you've already said to yourself, I am unmoved. Now you begin to ask, what do I see from here? From stillness, you notice things you missed before. You notice how most conversations aren't really about truth. They're about fear. Fear of being wrong. Fear of being ignored. Fear of being small. When people interrupt, they're not disrespecting you. They're defending their own fragile sense of importance. So why mirror their fear with your reaction? Why trade your calm for the comfort of ego? A wise man once said, "The space between stimulus and response, there lies our freedom." That's the invisible line where mastery lives. And to cross that line, you need the second word, because stillness without direction drifts into passivity. But stillness, guided by purpose, turns into gravity, a quiet force that pulls respect toward you. Think about the people you've met who command respect without trying. They don't rush. They don't fidget. They don't fill silence with noise. They look at you steady and patient, as if they've already heard everything you could possibly say. And somehow, that makes you want to choose your words more carefully. That's the effect of the second word. It transforms your stillness into signal. When you speak it, it's like lighting a torch inside your silence. You become the reference point in the room, the anchor everyone else unconsciously orbits. The second word is this: I see through. Let it sink in. I see through. It means you don't just look, you perceive. You see through people's noise, their masks, their reactions. You see through your own impulses before they control you. You see through moments that used to pull you into argument. When someone interrupts you now, you no longer see an insult. You see insecurity trying to find air. You see pain disguised as confidence. You see fear pretending to be strength. And the moment you see through it, you can't take it personally anymore. That's what terrifies people who live on reaction. Your calm exposes them. They can't find purchase in your silence, so they either quiet down or walk away. Not because you silenced them, but because you showed them a mirror they weren't ready to face. I see through. 3 small words that shift your vision from surface to substance, from noise to meaning, from chaos to comprehension. This is how Stoic presence evolves from stillness into influence. You no longer need to interrupt others because you already understand where their words are coming from. You no longer need to shout to be heard because truth has its own volume. And when you combine the first 2 words, I am unmoved and I see through, you reach a rare state, composed awareness, a calm that isn't blind, and a clarity that isn't cold. That combination disarms any argument. Because people can debate logic, but they can't debate presence. Presence is the silent proof of everything you've mastered. When you live by these first 2 words, you stop reacting to the world. You begin to respond from the world, as though your very breath has slowed to match the rhythm of the universe. That's what Marcus Aurelius meant when he wrote, "Be like the cliff against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water around it." He didn't mean be emotionless, he meant be anchored, see through the tide, and remain. But there's still one more word waiting, the final piece of the triad that turns mastery inward into action outward. Because calm and clarity, though powerful, are incomplete without conviction. Stillness gives you control. Sight gives you understanding, but only conviction gives you direction. The Stoic must eventually act. He doesn't stay in the cave forever. He walks back into the marketplace, not to argue, but to live by example. That's where the third and final word will rise, the word that transforms quiet into leadership. Before we reach it, let's stay in this silence for a moment longer. Imagine yourself in the middle of chaos again, voices overlapping, tension rising. You no longer shrink or flare up. You breathe. You say inwardly, I am unmoved. Then your eyes soften. You listen deeper and whisper within, I see through. Suddenly you're detached but not distant, engaged, but not entangled, and the world feels slower, like time itself respects your pace. That's what unshakable composure feels like. It's not that the world got quieter, it's that you stopped feeding its noise. When you reach that state, you're no longer trying to control conversations, you're guiding them without effort. Your pauses carry weight, your words land, softer but hit deeper. Your silence becomes an act of generosity, a space where others finally feel safe enough to listen, not just to you, but to themselves. That's the secret the ancients knew. Control yourself first, and the world rearranges itself around your calm. I am unmoved. I see through. 2 pillars of inner mastery, but a structure needs a foundation. And that's what the third word will be, the foundation that holds everything steady when the weight of the world presses down. Because even the strongest calm will crack if it doesn't rest on meaning. Even the clearest sight will blur if it has no compass. The third word isn't about power over others, it's about alignment with yourself. It's what keeps you from using silence as a weapon and turns it into wisdom instead. It's what turns control into compassion, understanding into guidance, presence into purpose. The final word waits beneath it all, quiet, patient, timeless, just as it always has. Purpose. That's the heartbeat beneath every Stoic lesson. Without purpose, calm becomes avoidance and clarity turns into detachment. Purpose is what gives your stillness direction, what gives your silence meaning. Every day the world tries to pull you away from it. 1,000 distractions whisper your name. People talk over you, opinions flood your screen, and somewhere in the noise you start to forget what your own voice sounds like. That's why the third word matters. It brings you home. Before we reach it, remember this, you can't find purpose through noise, you find it through noticing. Notice the small details that others miss. Notice how truth hides behind simplicity. Notice that the people who interrupt the most are the ones most terrified of hearing themselves. When you notice, you begin to understand. And from understanding comes compassion. You stop taking the world's chaos personally and start seeing it as a reflection of its pain. That's when purpose reveals itself, not as a grand mission, but as quiet alignment. The desire to live right, to act right, to speak only when it serves something greater than your ego. That's where the third word lives. The Stoics didn't preach to be heard. They lived so clearly that truth spoke through them. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire but kept his diary in whispers to himself. Epictetus was born a slave, yet his freedom was felt by every student who ever sat in his presence. Their power wasn't in their titles, it was in their composure guided by purpose. So here you are, still and seeing. You've learned to be unmoved, you've learned to see through. Now, the final step is to align, because peace without alignment becomes stagnation, and wisdom without action dies as philosophy trapped in thought. The third word is simple, it's not shouted, it's breathed. I stand ready. Say it quietly. Let the words rest on your tongue for a moment. I stand ready, not I'm waiting, not I'm hoping. Ready. Readiness is not impatience, it's calm preparation, it's the state of a mind that has accepted everything that might come and still chooses to act with dignity. When you whisper, I stand ready, you tell the universe, I have no need to fight for control, because I have mastered myself. Whatever arrives, I will meet it with presence. This is what makes you untouchable. People stop interrupting you when they sense that kind of readiness. They feel that you're not defending a position, you're living a principle. The three words together form a code. Am unmoved. I see through. I stand ready. They are not commands, they're conditions of being. Together, they describe a soul that has returned to center, a mind that neither rushes ahead nor hides behind fear. When you carry this energy, you no longer need to prove anything. You speak less, but your words weigh more. You listen deeper, but you miss nothing. You exist in a rhythm that others feel but cannot define. That rhythm is your power. It's the quiet confidence that slows time itself. Let's imagine this in motion. Someone challenges you in public, cuts across your sentence. The old version of you would tense up, raise your voice, fight to reclaim space. The new version simply breathes. Inside, you repeat, I am unmoved. Your pulse steadies. You look at them, not through anger, but through understanding. I see through. You notice their insecurity, their need to dominate the moment. You let it exist without judgment. Then calmly, you lean back slightly, eyes clear, shoulders loose, and your inner voice says, I stand ready. Ready to respond if needed, ready to walk away if not, ready to remain whole no matter what they choose next. That sequence, the triad, is what presence looks like. It doesn't end arguments. It transforms them. Because when someone realizes they can't shake you, they start to meet you at your level. That's influence. That's the Stoic kind of respect. And here's the paradox. The less you try to hold attention, the more you earn it. The quieter your energy, the louder your impact. This is what ancient philosophy has been whispering for centuries. That mastery has nothing to do with domination and everything to do with direction. You direct energy. Instead of reacting to it, you become the calm eye of every storm. I am unmoved. That's your anchor. I see through. That's your awareness. I stand ready. That's your purpose. Together, they make you whole. Think about the moments that tested you most. The ones where your voice shook, your patience burned out, your peace slipped through your fingers. Every one of those moments was life's way of asking, are you ready to stand still in the fire? You didn't fail when you reacted. You learned where your edges are, and now you know how to meet them differently. The Stoics never promised perfection. They promised progress. Each breath, each pause, each act of restraint is progress, and the reward? A mind that belongs entirely to you. That's the quiet miracle of these words. They don't just change how others treat you, they change how you treat yourself. When you live by them, you interrupt your own anxiety before anyone else can. You silence your inner noise before the outer world gets the chance. You become your own still point. Soon the outro will close this reflection, but stay here for one more breath. Notice how your body feels when you say them all together. I am unmoved. I see through. I stand ready. There's no tension there, only grounded strength. That's the sound of composure becoming identity. You've reached the kind of quiet that no one can interrupt. Because you've realized something deeper. Interruption only exists where reaction lives. When reaction dies, everything becomes dialogue, even silence. The greatest battles are never fought in words. They're fought in the pauses between them. In the silence where one man rushes to defend his pride, and another chooses to protect his peace. That silence, that space of self-command is the difference between noise and influence, between reaction and mastery. And in that silence, you stand alone, unmoved, seeing through. Ready. That is where the Stoics lived. They didn't try to convince. They embodied. They didn't debate for victory. They practiced presence because they understood people don't remember arguments. They remember energy, the energy of someone calm under pressure, the tone of someone who never needed to prove their worth. That's what lingers in the air long after words fade. When you say I am unmoved, you remind yourself that your emotions are guests, not masters. When you say I see through, you remind yourself that every insult hides insecurity, every interruption hides fear. And when you say I stand ready, you remind yourself that life is not happening to you, it's happening for you. Each moment is a test of presence, and every reaction you choose defines your strength. Let's bring this closer to your everyday life. You walk into a meeting, you're calm, composed, focused. Someone cuts you off mid-sentence, tries to sound louder, smarter, sharper. You could fight for the floor, but you don't. You lean back. Your eyes soften but stay locked. Inside, quietly, I am unmoved. The room feels your steadiness. Your stillness commands attention louder than any voice could. And when you finally speak again, every head turns, because you've earned the silence between your words. That's Stoic dominance. It's not about crushing anyone. It's about mastering yourself so deeply that others can't help but respect your presence. The world doesn't need louder voices, it needs steadier ones. And that steadiness begins with these three phrases. They're not magic spells, they're reminders, anchors, and traffic. When someone cuts you off, I am unmoved. In arguments, when your point gets twisted, I see through. Before challenges, when fear rises, I stand ready, say them enough. And they stop being words. They become reflex. They become who you are. And when you live this way long enough, you begin to notice something remarkable. People start changing around you. They speak softer. They interrupt less. They sense your centeredness and unconsciously sink to it, because calm is contagious, stillness is magnetic. It pulls the world into rhythm. That's why the strongest person in any room is not the loudest. It's the one who controls their inner weather. Their downer. Stoics called it ataraxia, a tranquility of the soul, untouched by chaos. And it's cultivated, not gifted. You train it by letting go, by choosing response over reaction, by repeating the words until they sink beneath the skin. So here's a truth worth holding on to. You don't earn respect by demanding silence. You earn it by embodying it. The moment you become still, the world rearranges itself around your peace. The moment you stop reacting, you become the mirror that reveals everyone else's noise. You no longer have to ask to be heard. People listen because your stillness has weight. That's why no one interrupts. A truly present man, they feel his gravity. Remember, these three words are not for the world first. They're for you. They're your discipline in disguise. Your way of holding yourself together when everything else is pulling you apart, because one day, someone will test you. Someone will provoke you. And in that moment, the world will watch how you respond. Will you react? Or will you remember? Will you crumble into noise? Or will you stand in stillness? Let the answer echo through you. Am unmoved. I see through. I stand ready. That's the Stoic code of presence. That's the voice of a person who no longer negotiates with chaos. That's the moment you go from being heard to being felt. So, as you walk back into the noise of your day, don't chase attention, radiate steadiness. Don't argue to be understood. Be so clear that misunderstanding dissolves on contact. And if anyone interrupts you, smile, because you'll know you've already won the only battle that matters, the one within. If these words spoke to something deep in you, if they reminded you of who you really are, beneath all the noise, type I rise. Still, in the comments, let it be your quiet declaration that you're done reacting and ready to live by presence. And if you want to keep walking this Stoic path with me, subscribe to Stoic Spark, and hit the bell icon so you never miss the next reflection that strengthens your mind, your calm, and your life. Because remember, you don't have to shout to be powerful. You just have to stay still enough for power to find you.